Imagine this. It's 1940. Europe is collapsing like a row of dominoes. France has fallen. Poland is gone. Norway, Belgium, the Netherlands, everywhere the Nazi war machine marches, nations are swallowed whole. And right in the middle of Hitler's expanding empire sits a tiny piece of land, a peaceful, mountain-filled country known more for chocolate and watches than war. Switzerland. A country so small that on the map it looks like someone dropped a seed between giants. So here's the real mystery that shocks people even today. Why didn't Hitler invade Switzerland? He invaded almost everyone around it, even countries that were neutral. So what made this place, surrounded completely by Axis powers, survive untouched? Most people think, oh, Switzerland was neutral. Hitler respected neutrality. But that's nonsense. Hitler respected neutrality the same way a wolf respects a locked door. If he wanted something, he smashed it. Belgium was neutral. He invaded it twice. Norway was neutral, also invaded. So neutrality wasn't Switzerland's magic shield. Something deeper was happening. And here's the twist. Hitler actually planned to invade Switzerland. Yes, he had a full military operation ready. Troops, maps, strategies, everything. The plan was called Operation Tannenbaum. It included around 500,000 German soldiers and 150,000 Italians. Hitler called the Swiss a miserable people and thought they belonged naturally inside his greater German empire. He absolutely wanted to crush this little country. But he didn't. And the reason why is wild. The first big factor was Switzerland itself. This tiny state wasn't soft or weak at all. It was like a hedgehog, small but covered in spikes, a porcupine country. Every bridge, tunnel, road, and valley was rigged with explosives. If Germany invaded, the Swiss planned to blow up their own infrastructure and retreat into the Alps. Their strategy was called the National Redoubt, basically a plan to turn the entire mountain range into a deadly fortress. If Germany wanted Switzerland, they would have to climb steep mountains under sniper fire, fight through narrow passes, deal with ambushes, and push tanks up a terrain where tanks simply couldn't move. The Swiss army wasn't huge, but it was highly trained. Every adult man was required to keep a rifle at home. Hundreds of hidden bunkers were built inside mountains. Underground factories could continue making weapons. Switzerland was prepared for total war. Hitler realized something terrifying. Invading Switzerland was easy, but holding Switzerland was nearly impossible. German generals studied the terrain and knew the truth. Switzerland was a nightmare battlefield. The Alps were steep, filled with choke points, and perfect for defenders. If the Swiss destroyed their tunnels and bridges, the Germans would be stuck climbing cliffs with machine guns pointed at them. Now here's the uncomfortable part of history most people don't talk about. Switzerland wasn't just protected by mountains, it was protected by its banks. And those banks held a lot of gold, Nazi gold. Germany used Swiss banks to store and move money during the war. They used them to convert stolen gold into foreign currencies. Switzerland helped keep German finances alive, even if silently and unofficially. Germany needed Switzerland as a safe financial pipeline. Invading it would destroy the one neutral banking system that still dealt with them. It wasn't just geography saving Switzerland, it was money. Switzerland also became a meeting point for spies. German agents, Allied agents, double agents, everyone used Swiss cities for secret deals. The country acted like a pressure valve in the middle of Europe. If Hitler invaded, he'd lose that neutral zone filled with intelligence opportunities. Then there was Italy. Hitler planned to invade Switzerland from the north and Italy from the south. But Italy kept failing everywhere. Greece, North Africa, you name it. Hitler didn't trust Mussolini's army. If Italy collapsed during the invasion, German soldiers would have to clean up the mess again. Hitler didn't have the time or patience for that. But the biggest reason Hitler never invaded Switzerland comes down to timing. Operation Tannenbaum was drawn up in 1940. This was the perfect moment. France had just fallen and Germany looked unstoppable. If Hitler had acted right then, Switzerland would probably have faced the full fury of the Nazi war machine. But something huge happened. Hitler turned his attention toward the Soviet Union. He believed he could crush Russia quickly and win the whole war in months. So he shifted troops, tanks, fuel, and supplies toward the east. Switzerland suddenly dropped from priority number 1 to priority number 0. And once Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union, his whole war changed. Instead of easy victories, he faced brutal winters, endless frontline battles, supply shortages, and devastating defeats like Stalingrad. Suddenly, Germany was fighting for its life. At that point, invading Switzerland would be a useless distraction. Switzerland knew how to play the game perfectly. They weren't innocent angels. They balanced between both sides. They sold weapons to Germany, but also gave support and refuge to Allied intelligence networks. They allowed some German trains to pass, but shut down others. They shot down aircraft from both sides when their airspace was violated. They played it perfectly in the middle, giving no one a strong enough reason to destroy them. But even with all that, Hitler still didn't forget about Switzerland. He called them a pimple on Europe and believed they were corrupt, greedy, and racially part of the German family. He wanted them under Nazi control eventually. If Hitler had won his Eastern campaign, Switzerland was absolutely next. But the war turned against him. By 1943, Germany had no room for new battles. The Allies were attacking from Africa. Italy collapsed and switched sides. American and British planes were bombing German cities. And in the east, the Red Army pushed back fiercely. Invading a mountain country full of armed civilians was now insane. Switzerland survived because it was smart, strategic, useful, and protected by time and luck. So why didn't Hitler invade Switzerland? Because Switzerland wasn't just a small country, it was a fortress with explosives under every bridge, sniper nests inside mountains, thousands of armed citizens ready to fight, and banks filled with Nazi gold. Because he needed its neutrality more than he hated it. Because Italy was weak, the terrain was deadly, and the cost of invasion was too high. Because Hitler got distracted by bigger, bloodier dreams of conquering the Soviet Union. Because by the time he wanted to come back to it, his empire was crumbling.